All right. So let's start. Feet and knees hip width apart for me. Make sure you get those feet nice and grounded into the floor. Soften the backs of the knees for me. Spread those toes. Belly button in, lower tummy, scoop it up, ribs in and down. Hands here by your side. Let's lift those shoulders up by your ears. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, draw the shoulders down into your back and lengthen up through your head for me. Chin slightly in, and let's start with some nice big deep breaths. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And again, breathing in and out. And again, breathing in and out. Let's do one more, breathing in and out. Lovely. Let's bring the arms up by the ears. I'm just going to turn sideways just so you get a better view. You can stay where you are though. We're just going to do a half roll down of the upper back, but leaving the arms up here by the ears. We take a breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to round the top of the back. Keep the arms up by the ears. Don't let them drop. Keep the knees soft. Rounding in the upper back. Go as far as you can without falling into the hips. Take a breath. Breathing out and uncurl. So stacking the spine up. You're reaching up. Drop the shoulders. Bring the hands down behind the head. And bring the fingers together. Take a breath in. Breathing out, and let's hyperextend through that rib cage. Really stretching into the upper back. And then come back to center. Extend the arms back up into the air, breathing in. Breathing out, round that upper back. Keep the arms by the ears. Really round, really round, really round. Take a breath. Breathing out and stack the spine up. Take a breath if you need to, though, an extra one. Good. All the way up. Shoulders down, let the hands fall down, elbows wide, breathe in. Breathing out and hyperextend. So we're lifting the ribs rather than arching the lower back. And then come back to center. I'm going to turn and face you again. Let's leave the hands here. Shoulder blades into your back. Take a breath in, fix the hips. Breathing out, rotate. 1, 2, 3, and center. Now to the left, breathing out. 1, 2, 3, and center. And again, 1, 2, 3, and center. And again, 1, 2, 3, and center. Let's do one more each side. And again, 1, 2, 3, and center. Last one. To the left, keep tall. 1, 2, 3, and center. Stay here with the arms. Rotate round to the right. No pulse this time. Now lift the ribs and slightly hyperextend backwards. And then draw the rib cage down and then come back to center. Let's do that on the left. So rotate first, then lift that rib cage up just slightly. Draw the rib cage down and then come to center. One more each side. Round to the right, keep tall. Then lift the ribs up. Good. Close the ribs down and center. And last one, round to the left. Lift the rib cage up. Close the rib cage down and center. Relax those arms down and have a roll through those shoulders. Lovely, well done. So I'm going to stand towards the back of my mat now. Just give me a little bit of space forwards. We're going to think about hitching the hip up. So you're using the muscles in the waist to lift the hip up. So I go hitch and step forwards. Take the weight into that right foot. I roll back, hitch, and place the foot back on the floor. Same now with the left. I hitch the hip up and step forward. So my leg stays long, weight into the left foot. Roll back, hitch, and back. And again, hitch, right leg step forwards. Roll back, hitch the hip, and pull it back. Hitch the left and forwards. Good. Roll back, hitch, and back. Really pull up with these muscles in the waist. You may also feel this across the lower back because you are using your QL, quadratus lumborum. Okay, so you may well feel it there as well. Hitch and back. One more each side. Right foot lift and forwards. Roll back, hitch, pull it back, left leg and forwards. Good. Hitch and back. Now let's take a step forwards and be at the front edge of your mat. So right leg, hitch and step backwards. Hitch and then come forwards, left leg, hitch and then step backwards. I'm flexing that foot as I step back as well. Keep the leg straight and flex. Hitch the hip. So you're really pulling up with those waist muscles. Hitch. One more each side. Lift, take it back. Lift, bring it forwards. Keep tall. Lift, take it back. Find that a bit harder. Lift and bring it forward. Step back into the middle of the mat. Feet a bit wider, about hip width apart. Have a little rotation through the hips, just to loosen the lower back. And then go the other way. Good. Lovely. And now we're going to stand down the end of our mat. So down the right end of your mat. Now, for those of you who come to class, which I think is all of you today, we've done this in class before. So imagine you're stepping over a low wall, or if you want to, you're stepping over something nasty that you don't want to step in. I don't know. So let's start with your right leg. So soft knees, peel your right heel off to begin with. We're going to take that leg up, bending the knee. We're going to extend that leg forwards, and we're going to step over that puddle or that low wall. Weight into the right foot. Now take the weight back into the left foot, arms come forwards, flex the foot, take the weight into that left foot and lift up and place that foot side by side. Okay, so left foot, heel up, soft through the right knee, extend the leg forwards, flex, stepping forwards, let that weight go into the left foot, roll back, flex that left foot, pick up, place it down. You might be a bit wobbly. So soft knees, right heel, pick it up. Slide the leg up, extend the leg forwards and step. Take the weight into the right foot. Roll back, flex that foot, pick it up and bring it together. Ooh. And then soften the knees, left heel, slide the left foot up, extend, stepping forwards, roll back, flex the left foot, pick it up and place it down. Have a walk through those feet. I'm going to come back, edge myself forwards. Let's have a little roll down here. So soft knees and tuck the chin. Round the upper back, chin to chest. Let's gently articulate down through the spine. That feels good. Nice stretch into the lower back. Knees are nice and soft for me. Just let the body hang here. Just for that little bit of a stretch in the back of the hamstrings and in the glutes, and take a breath in. And as you breathe out, let's walk forwards down into hands and knees. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. I want you to draw me some nice big circles with your body. So keeping your back flat, I'm going clockwise to begin with. So feel how your top of your arm rotates into your shoulder. And also feel that movement as well in the hips as we rotate. Keeping a nice flat back as you do. Now let's change direction. Let's go the other way. We're just warming up the shoulders, warming up the hips, warming up the wrists. Nice rotation. Good. And keep that spine flat. Try not to round the spine. Don't let the head hang. Good. And then come to centre. Lovely. So place your right hand in the centre. Now take your left hand and rotate all the way up, straight arm. Press your shins down into the floor and then come back. Place your left hand in the centre. Right hand, rotate, palm facing outwards. Press the feet into the floor. and then come back. Right hand into the center, left hand rotate. Good, palm outwards. You can move through the hips, that's fine, but just keep the legs nice and stable. And then come back. And last one, left hand into the center, right hand rotates, palm facing forwards. And then come back into center. Let's take those arms forwards and drop into child's pose. Have a little stretch back. Good. So we're going to do what's called the snake press up now. Okay, it sounds a lot worse than it is. So in this nice child's pose, really dropping your tailbone down towards your feet. I want you to look up so you can see the end of your mat. Drop your elbows to the floor and imagine you're sliding your chin along your mat, all the way forwards. Take your weight forwards into your arms, press up, and then drop yourself back into your child's pose. Have you got that? So look up, look at the end of your mat. Drop your elbows down to the floor. Imagine you're sliding your chin along the mat. You'll get to a point you have to take the weight forwards. Press up and then drop yourself back into child's pose. Good, let's do it again. Looking up at the end of your mat, drop your elbows down. Slide your chin along your mat. Take your weight forwards, press up and then come all the way back. One more for luck. So look up at the end of your mat, drop your elbows, slide your chin just above the mat, take your weight forwards and press up and then pull down. Whoa, lovely. Okay, let's come forwards onto your forearms. Take yourself out into a plank and then I want you to slowly lower your body down. Good, feet about the width of your mat. Bring your hands down one on top of the other and then let your forehead just rest on top of your hands. Bend your knees, bring your feet together and then maybe take your knees slightly wider. So we're going to do our nice frog's legs exercise here where we're really using the glutes and the hamstring to activate the movement and the back will work certainly, but it shouldn't be the muscles that create the movement. You want your glutes and your hamstrings to be doing that. So engage your core first, belly button away from the mat, pull up your core muscles. Now squeeze them until my head so you can hear me. Squeeze both of your glutes as hard as you can. Now think about lengthening out through the knees, pulling up through the hamstrings to create that tension so the knees float and then relax it all the way down. And again, engage the core, squeeze the glutes, lengthen out through the knees. Now go deeper into the core so the pubic bone isn't driving into the floor, and then release. And again, belly button away from the mat, squeeze both of your glutes, lengthen out through the knees, pull up through the hamstrings, breathe. Shoulders are relaxed, and then relax it all the way down. Let's do one more for luck. Relax completely. And let's go again. Belly button away from the mat. Engage both of your glutes. Breathe in, breathe out, and lengthen. Push those knees away. Shorten those hamstrings. Pull up for me. Relax those shoulders, not too tight, through your neck. And then relax. And then take your legs long. Bring your legs in so they're hip width apart. Nice and parallel. And again, we're going to start with the legs, then we'll have a go at the arms, and then we'll see if we can combine the two. So bracing the core, lengthen the legs away. We crisscross the legs, one up and over, 2, 3, and then we go wide. Then we go the other way, 1, 2, 3, and wide. And then 1, 2, 3, and wide. Hold that core, 1, 2, 3, and wide. Crisscross for 3, and then wide. Crisscross for 3, and wide. Good, holding that core, squeezing those glutes as well. 1, 2, 3 and wide. 1, 2, 3 and wide. 2 more. 1, 2, 3 and wide. Last one. 1, 2, 3 and wide. And then relax those legs down. Lovely. Okay. So let's extend the arms. Good. So we're going to gently float the upper body. So bring the head so it's parallel. And when you're ready, float the arms and 1, 2, 3 and wide. And 1, 2, 3 and wide. And 1, 2, 3 and wide. And 1, 2. Now if you're struggling here, come in a little bit closer and have the arms bent. So I know when we're doing the upper body, it's a little bit more tricky. So this is the easy option. Long arms is your harder option. 1, 2, 3 and wide. Last one. 1, 2, 3 and wide. And then lower down. Lovely. Okay, so we're now going to combine the two together. So if you want to stay with bent arms, you can. If it's a bit too much for you, if you want to extend your arms, you can. Legs go as well. So we float the legs, engage the glutes, engage the core. We float the arms here or here. When you're ready, off we go. 1, 2, 3 and wide. So arms and legs are doing the same thing. 1, 2, 3 and wide. 1, 2, 3 and wide. 1, 2, 3 and wide. Keep it going. 1, 2, 3 and wide. 2 more. 1, 2, 3 and wide. Last one. 1, 2, 3 wide and rest. Oh, that should have got you a little bit warm. I'm just going to shimmy down my mat a bit. Okay, let's have the arms the width of the mat. Let's have the legs the width of the mat. Now, we're going to do half starfish rollovers, okay? So start with the foot that's closest towards me. Lift that leg up, the one that's closest towards me. Push that leg across the body and start to turn your head to look at me. Now lengthen that arm and come into a diagonal balance. Hold and stretch. And then we're going to roll ourselves very gently. Bring the hands to the floor if you need to. Roll yourself very gently all the way back down. Other leg furthest away from you, lift it up. Come across the body, bring your leg towards me. Reach that bottom arm, come into a diagonal stretch. Reach, reach, reach away. Bring the hand down first and then slowly guide your hips back down. Try not to go plonk on the floor. And again, leg closest towards me. Across the body, reach that bottom arm and stretch on the diagonal. Lovely stretch. Bring the arm down and then glide your hips back down. Fab. Last one. Leg furthest away from you, pick it up. Come across, reach that bottom arm and stretch on the diagonal. Reach away. Let the arm come down and then gently glide those hips all the way down. Lovely, well done. Slide the hands underneath, gently press up. Let's have a stretch into child's pose. Little stretch into that lower back. Woo. Okay, let's come up and come and lay directly down on your side. So on your left side facing me, we'll go there first. We're going to come all the way down. Actually, I'm going to go towards the back of my mat a little bit first. And then I want you to bring your knees up to right angles. So you want your shins to be roughly parallel with the edge of your mat. Relaxing your head down on your arm. Hips are still nicely stacked. Right angle at the hips and a right angle here at the knees. Fingertips in front of you. Now, I'm going to lift my rib cage off the floor so I can get my hand underneath my ribs. I'm going to hold my ribs there. My top leg staying in right angles is going to flow up in line with my hip. And I'm going to hold nice deep breaths in for 3. Let's go. Breathing in and out. And again, in and out. And again, in and out. Float the leg down first and then float the ribs down. Okay, now let's going to try it with this arm up into the air. So stretch that arm up, keep the shoulder rooted, lift the waist off, float the leg up and hold, breathe in and out. And again, in and out. And again, in and out. Float the leg down, float the ribs down, relax the arm onto the hip. Let's do one more of those. Float the arm up, root the shoulder, lift the waist off the floor, float the leg in line with the hip and breathe in and out. Keep that waist up, in and out. And again, in and out. Float the leg down, let the waist drop and bring the arm over your hip. Well done. Let's stay at right angles. Bring the fingertips in front of you. Let's take that leg in line with the hip. We're going to go all the way behind, the knees in line with the hip. And we're going to pulse 1, 2, and come all the way forward. So we're in line with the bottom leg. Swing it back, 1 and 2 and forwards. And again, 1 and 2 and forwards. Good, and again, 1 and 2 and forwards. And again, 1 and 2 and forwards. Now come forwards. Pulse, pulse, parallel. Squeeze your glute, then parallel. Come forwards. Pulse, pulse, and parallel. Squeeze that glute and parallel. Good, and again, pulse, pulse. Good. So I've just moved my top arm just forward, just give me a bit more space. And pulse, pulse, and parallel. And squeeze and parallel. Let's go up into the air. Open the book. 1, 2, and parallel. And back for 2 and parallel. Up again. 1, 2, and parallel. Now forwards. Forwards for 2 and parallel. Good. And up. 1, 2, and parallel. Go back. Squeeze and parallel. So keep that right angle at the knee if you can. Forwards for 2 and parallel. Lift it up. 1, 2, parallel. Back, 2, parallel. Lift. 1, 2, parallel. Forwards. Good. One more set for me. Lift up. 1, 2, parallel. Go back. Squeeze, squeeze. Good. Lift up. 1, 2, and parallel. Come forwards. 1, 2, and parallel, and drop. Good, well done. Lengthen that bottom leg. Bring that leg over. Give that leg a little bit of rest. Very nice. Fantastic. Good, whilst we're here, take both legs long. Bend the underside leg and reach and grab that top leg. Good, push those hips forwards for me. So you get that lovely stretch in the front of your thigh. Good, just hold that stretch. Good, breathe. Good. I find laying down, I can really draw my shoulder back as well and get a nice stretch in the front of my shoulder. Lovely, and then release. Okay, so from this side lay position, we'll come back onto the other side in a moment. Gently walk yourself all the way up for me and bring your legs forwards. So we're going to take our legs and we're going to sit nice and wide. Good, making sure we're sitting up onto our sit bones as much as possible. If you struggle with this and you're falling backwards, you can always sit on a block if you've got a block, okay? Or if not, you might need to raise yourself up. A couple of books might work quite nicely as well if you're really struggling with your hamstrings. So let's start with a nice sore stretch. So arms up for me, shoulder blades into back. rotate to the right. Now we're going to bring the little finger of the left hand down to the right little toe. And I rotate my palm inwards as I do that on my right arm. And then I come all the way back up. Let's start on the left. So I rotate, right hand little finger, rotate the palm of the left hand as I come down into saw. And then I come up, oh, I'm stiff on that side. And I go rotate, stretch down. Keeping your sit bones on the floor. Rotate, stretch down. And up. And again, rotate, stretch down. And up. Rotate, stretch down. And up. Now, let's rotate and stretch down. Come up and just rotate all the way around to your left. And as you do, that right leg, imagine you're stretching it away. Flex the foot and really stretch that right leg away. And then come back to center. Now rotate to the left again. Now let's stretch down into saw. And then come up. Then we're going to rotate and hold to the right, and we're going to stretch that left leg away. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then come back to center. Then we rotate, come down into saw, and then come up. Rotate to the left and hold, and stretch the right leg away, away, away. And center. Rotate left into saw, and then come up. Rotate round to the right, stretching your left leg away, away, away. 4, and center. Relax the arms, slide those legs in, give those legs a little bit of a shimmy, shimmy. Lovely, okay, let's come into butterfly legs here. Let's have a little stretch down first. So just round the spine, let your body sink down towards your feet for me. So just it falls into the hips. You can do a little side to side rock if you want to, if that feels good in your body. I quite like that in my hips. Lovely, and then let's curl all the way up. So we're going to place one arm on top of the other, shoulder blades down into your back, tuck your tailbone under, so you're just on the back of your pelvis. I want you to slide the legs away parallel, and then slide them up into butterfly, staying just on the back of the pelvis. And again, slide the legs away parallel and slide up into butterfly. And again, slide the legs away and then pull them in and up. And again, slide the legs away and then pull them in up. Now, if you can, roll back a bit further and take your toes off the floor. So you slide the legs away and then you pull up, bringing the knees to the elbows. And then you slide the legs away and then you pull up, knees to elbows. If this is too hard, then keep your feet on the floor. Slide the legs away and pull up, knees to elbows. Lovely. And push the legs away. And then come up, knees to elbows. Last one, push the legs away. And then come up, knees to elbows, feet on the floor. Take your body forwards again. Pulling your body down towards your feet. Lovely. Nice couple of breaths while you're there. Fantastic. Good. And then slowly uncurl. Okay, so let's turn our legs round. And we're going to lay ourselves down onto our back. So let's gently roll ourselves down, tuck your tailbone under, and then come all the way to the floor. Okay, so before we do our next exercise, the next exercise is one of those exercises which is quite a small movement, but actually still quite challenging for us to do. So let's just think about it with our feet on the floor. So feet and knees hip width apart. So it's quite simple with our feet on the floor. So coming into our pelvic tuck. We're drawing our tailbone round towards the ceiling and then release it off. This is one that you all know really well. So pelvic tuck around and then release it away. So drawing your tailbone under, flattening your back into the floor, a little bit of engagement maybe in the glutes, lower tummy nice and firm, and then release it away. And again, into your tuck, and then release it away. So we've got that, nice and easy. Okay, fingertips up into the air, palms facing one another, root the shoulders to the floor for me. Bring one leg into tabletop, and then the other leg, and flex the feet. So they're facing the wall down in front of you. Now, think about, again, a pelvic tuck. Draw the tailbone around, and release it away. So you notice my quads move towards me, but I'm not using the muscles in my quads with the shoulders. And again, tuck the tailbone around, release it away. And again, tuck the tailbone round, flatten the back, release it away, but don't let go completely. And pull that tailbone round, feel that lower tummy working. Release it away, and again, put it round, release it away. One more for me. Put it round, release it away. Relax the feet, hug the knees in, give them a nice little squeeze into your chest. Well done. Good. Feels different when you're in tabletop, doesn't it? Good stuff. Well done. Okay, same with the glute squeeze. So bring your feet down to the floor for me. Have your hands just gently on the floor. And then just lift your bottom so it's just off the floor. So you're not in a bridge, it's just off the floor. And I want you to squeeze your glutes as hard as you can and then relax them off and feel what happens. So when you squeeze your glutes, when you're in a bridge situation, obviously your hamstrings are switched on, but can you feel your quads also are quite active? Then release it away. And again, squeeze the glutes and release it away. And again, squeeze the glutes, release it away. Good, last one. And squeeze the glutes. Notice your inside thigh muscles as well, so remember that. And release it away, lower the hips down. Okay, bring your hands up, palms facing, root the shoulders. Bring one leg into tabletop, the overhip, and the other flex the feet. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to squeeze the glutes. Notice hamstrings, quads, and inside thigh also switching on, and then release it away. So don't focus on the pelvis. The pelvis will tuck slightly, but I really want you to focus on squeezing those glutes as much as you can and release them off. Squeeze the glutes and then release. Squeeze the glutes and then release. Two more. Squeeze the glutes and then release. Last one. Squeeze the glutes and then release. Hug your knees into your chest. Lovely. So on the first exercise, the pelvis was really rotating towards you. On the second exercise, it kind of rotates but pushes slightly up. And you might even notice your legs kind of almost move up towards the ceiling as you do that. Good, okay. So back into tabletop, feet are relaxed now, or even pointed. Arms here are nice and rooted, shoulder blades staying rooted to the floor. So right leg, left arm, extend away. Keep your shoulders rooted and come back in. Now the other side, left leg, right arm, and then come back in. Think about how precise this needs to be. And in, keep the shoulders in connection with your mat. And I'm really trying to keep my knee over my hip and my arm over my shoulder, because sometimes they can drift. And come back. And again, extend. and back. Use that core. Keep the pelvis still and keep the shape of the spine the same. And back, last one. And back, and hug those knees in. So holding the fronts of your knees now for me, you're going to press the legs up into the hands slightly. Make a circle with the arms, tuck the chin to your chest, and then just wiggle your shoulder blades off slightly so you're in a nice sort of a rounded ball situation here. And then we're going to do double arm, double leg extension and circle the arms round. So extend, circle round, press the legs into the hands. If you really feel you need to be here, that's fine. You can still press if you want to bring your head down and extend, circle round, press in and extend, circle round, press in and extend, circle round, press in and extend, circle round, press in. Last one, extend, circle round, press in and then relax. Oh, that should get you a little bit warmer. Fantastic. Take your leg long, take the other leg long. Let's have a little stretch through the body, let the ribs go. With that nice stretch. Good. And let's stretch alternate or opposite arms and legs. So right leg, left arm, stretch and then relax. Left leg, right arm, stretch and then relax. Just carefully don't point the toes too much, otherwise you might get a bit cramp in those feet. And relax. Last one, left leg, right arm and relax. And then just relax those arms around the head. Now you've got two options here. You can either turn onto your side and slowly walk yourself up, or you can extend the arms and come into a roll up with me. Arms come overhead, chin to chest, squeeze and round your spine and gently roll yourself all the way up. Well done. Okay, so let's swing our legs round to the other side. So I'm going to lay towards the back of my mat, come all the way down, and then bring my knees up so that my shins are parallel with the edge of my mat. I've got a right angle at the hips and I've got a right angle at the knees. Fingertips in front of me to begin with. Get myself organised, good. And then we're going to start with this waist. We're going to peel that waist off. So can you see I can get my hand right underneath. I'm going to float that top leg up parallel in line with the hip, and I'm going to breathe in through the nose for 3. Breathe in and out. And again, in and out. One more, in and out. Let the leg float down first, keep the waist up, then let the waist drop down. Let's do that again. Float the waist off, float the knee up, breathing in and out. And again, breathing in and out. And again, in and out. Let the leg float down, let the waist float down and relax. Let's take this arm up into the air now and root the shoulder blade into the back. So the shoulder's not relaxed forwards, it's drawn down into my back. I lift my waist off, I float my leg up and I hold, breathe in and out. And again, in and out. And again, in and out. Float the leg down, let the waist drop, let the arm float over the hip. Fab. Let's do that again. Arm comes up, root the shoulder, lift the waist off the floor, belly button to spine, float the leg up, parallel, hold, breathe in. and out. And again, in and out. And again, in and out. Float the leg down, let the waist drop, and let the arm relax over the hip. I think we should do one more for luck, just one more. So float the arm up, root the shoulder, lift the waist up, float the leg in line with the hip, breathe in and out, and again in and out, and again in and out. Let the leg float down, let the waist drop, let the arm come over the hip. Well done, guys. So bring the hand just slightly forwards for me, float the leg in line with the hip. Let's just go behind first. Squeeze 1, 2, and float back parallel. And again, squeeze that glute. Lovely. So you're not extending the leg. As we go back, we're not extending the leg. We don't want to push back with a straight leg. So none of this. Keep the leg bent, 1, 2, and get that pulse to come from the glute. A little bit of hamstring as well, yeah? But it's got to come from the glute. Pulse, pulse, and back. And again, pulse, pulse. Now come forwards. Pulse, pulse. Track back. Pulse, pulse. Come forwards. Pulse, pulse. Trying to keep the side of the leg parallel to the ceiling. Squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze, squeeze. Lovely. Squeeze, squeeze, and squeeze, squeeze. Good. Forwards and back. So it's come parallel. We're going to go up. 1, 2, forwards. Pulse, pulse. Parallel, up, up, parallel back, squeeze, squeeze, and parallel, up, up, parallel, forwards, parallel, up, up, parallel, go back, squeeze, squeeze, and parallel. Good, and again, lift, lift, parallel, control, forwards, and parallel. Lift, lift, and parallel, back, squeeze, squeeze, and parallel. Couple more. Lift, lift, parallel, forwards, forwards, parallel, lift, lift, parallel, back, squeeze, squeeze. Last set for me. Lift, lift, parallel, forwards, forwards, parallel, lift, lift, parallel, go back, squeeze, squeeze, parallel, and relax. Well done. Lengthen that bottom leg, bring that top leg over. Just let that have a little bit of a rest. Well done. Then take both legs long. I'm just going to bend my underside leg, just give you some stability as I reach back and grab hold of my foot. Push my hip forward. You can then lengthen that leg out if it helps. Even if you bring it slightly forwards, that helps also to give you a little bit of stability in your stretch. The shoulder blade into your back. Try to get that stretch also in the front of your shoulder if you can. And then push your hips forwards with that lovely deep stretch in the front of your thigh for me. That's good. Fabulous. Keep that there. Keep stretching. Excellent. Good. And then relax. Then from here, we're going to roll onto our back. So back onto your back again for me. Okay, so feet to knees hip width apart. Let's bring those arms up and root those shoulders again, just like we did in our last little section where we did our leg on our back. It's slightly different this time. Bring one leg up to tabletop and then the other leg up. Have your feet together and knees apart in your frog's legs position. Now, I'm happy if your knees come slightly towards you. They don't need to be here. So wherever for your back feels comfortable is where I want you to go. So keep the shoulders rooted so you can feel the shoulder blades against the floor. Let's let the legs travel over to the right. And as you do, stretch the right arm up to the ceiling. Keep the left shoulder blade glued to the mat as you reach the right arm up, which means your right shoulder blade comes off, pulling the legs back to center with the core and driving your right shoulder blade down. So the legs are going to travel over to the left and the left arm is going to stretch up. The right shoulder blade stays glued to the floor. The left shoulder blade comes slightly off. And as I draw my knees back to center, I draw my left shoulder blade down. Okay, and again, legs rock over to the right. Right arm stretches up to the ceiling. Left shoulder blade stays down. Don't go too far or you're going to fall. And then draw those knees back to center, drawing the right shoulder blade down. Then to the left arm stretches up to the ceiling for me. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then drive that shoulder blade down as the legs come to center. One more each side. Knees to the right. Right arm stretches up. Stretches up. Good. And then draw those knees back to center as the right shoulder blade comes down. And last one, over to the left. Left arm stretches up. Left shoulder blade comes away. Right shoulder blade stays rooted. And then draw the knees to center. And then bring those hands all the way around. Legs stay wide. Pull them in gently. So knees pointing towards your shoulders to get that nice deep stretch. And then release. Bring your feet to the floor in neutral, hip width apart. Good. Arms just gently down by your side now, relaxing your shoulders. Bring one leg into tabletop of the other and just place the feet together. Knees just slightly parted, shins parallel to the ceiling. Using the waist again in this exercise for me, you're going to rotate your feet to point on the diagonal. And you're going to pull up for the waist. I've gone to the left first so you can see the side facing you, and then you come back to center. Then you point on the next opposite diagonal, so to the right, I'm going, pulling up through the right side of the waist, and then back to center. So the whole of the hips move as well. As you rotate, your hips are rotating as well, and then center. But try to keep the shoulders stable. Think about a tray of drinks on your shins that you don't want to, still, and center. Good, rotate on the diagonal. Use that waist and center. Keep the knees over the hips. Rotate. And release. Let's do one more each side. Are your legs getting shaky yet? Rotate. And then release. Good, well done. Last one, rotate. And then release. Oh, hug those knees in to your chest. Well done. Fab. And then relax those feet down for me. Give your legs a little bit of a shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Lovely. Now, left leg, take it away on the floor about, so you're not, this is my natural sort of hip width apart. So I want it sort of halfway between that and long. So my first foot is flat and my legs are a little bit further away from me. So engage the core muscles for me and just come into imprint. So the ribs are coming down, lower tummy is coming up. So you feel your back flatten to the floor, but your pelvis is still neutral. That isn't tilted. And now take your right leg up into the air long. Okay, as long as you can make it. That means you're down here, that's absolutely fine. I want it to be as long as you can make it. All right, I want you to imagine a box, a square, and you're going to draw this square with the leg. I'm going to come up into the right-hand top corner of my square. I'm going to come down, across, up, and across. Down, across, up, and across. Good. So you decide how big you want your square to be. The bigger the box, the harder it is. Your hips stay completely stable. Leg is long. Good. So I'm going down and across, up and across. I'm going to do one more, come back to my top right hand corner, and then I'm going to draw my square the opposite way. Across, down, across and up. Straight leg, down, across and up. Across, down, across and up. Two more. Cross, down, cross and up. Last one. Cross, down, cross and up. And then grab hold of that leg, straighten that leg, put it towards you. Now you can either slide that leg up if you feel you need to, or you can make it harder in your stretch and drop that leg down. Really pull that leg in, get that nice stretch in that hamstring. Let's flex that foot, push away through the heel. So we're getting into that calf. Good. Lovely. And then relax it all the way down. And then bring both legs up into your natural position. Okay, let's do the same with the other leg now. So take the right leg away about halfway. Take the left leg along into the air, arms down. I'm going to start in the top left-hand corner of my box now. And I'm going to go down, across, up and across. Down, across, up, pelvis still. Down, so I'm drawing my square in the air and down, across, up and across. Down, across, up and across. Good, make it bigger, but make it square, not oblong. Down, across, up and across, down, across. Then I'm going to wait in my top left-hand corner, go the other way, across and down, across and up. Cross, down, cross and up. Cross, down, cross and up. Cross, down, hold that core for me. And cross, down, cross, two more. Cross, down, cross, last one. Cross, down, cross and up. Hold the back of the leg. You can slide that leg in a bit close to the right leg or take it all the way long, depending on how flexy you are. Pull that leg nicely in towards you. Get that stretch in the hamstring. My hamstring's a bit tight today. Stretching that hamstring. And then flex that foot to get stretch in your calf. Push that heel away for me. Good. Breathe. Lovely. And then relax that leg all the way down. Bring those feet up. Turn onto your side for me and gently walk yourself. Lovely. Okay, come sit facing me. Sit however you're most comfortable for me. So either legs crossed, legs in front of you, long, bent. As long as you're sitting up on your sit bones nice and tall, that's all I'm worried about. Let's roll those shoulders. Good, now we've done quite a lot of exercises working through the waist today, so let's have a stretch into the oblique. So hand down, soften the elbow, reach up first, and then reach over. And as I reach over, the left side of my rib cage, I'm pushing out on the diagonal as I reach. So you get that really deep stretch into the obliques, right to the hip, and then release. Bring that hand down, soften the elbows, stretch directly up first, and then come over by the ear, pushing the right side of the rib cage away, keeping both sit bones on the floor, so not letting your right one float off. That's good. And then release. Let's do it one more time. Hand down and soften, stretch up first, over by the ear and stretch the ribs away. And I also use some nice big deep breathing here as well to really stretch through your rib cage. Good, and release. And last one, hand down, soften, stretch it up first. Over by the ear, push the ribs away and breathe. Good. Lovely. And then release. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears, give them a good old squeeze. And slowly let them draw all the way down. And imagine you're lengthening that neck up as long as you can. Good, and again, shrug up to the ears. And then let them come down slowly into your back. And as they do, your head lifts up towards the ceiling, your neck gets longer. And one more, squeeze. And then draw those shoulders down, lengthen through the back of the neck. And as you do, draw that chin in for me. Keeping that length, drop the right ear down towards the right shoulder. And then come back up. And then the left side, but keep the shoulders down. Ooh. Feel that. And then again, over to the right. And then release. And over to the left, keep those shoulders down. And release. Make your circle here in front of you. Round through the upper back, stretch the arms forward, let the chin just drop down towards the chest. Stretching the backs of those shoulders for me. That's good. Come all the way up into the air, hands behind their back, hands behind the back of the head, I should say, elbows nice and wide. And just like we started, little hyperextension, lifting the ribs. And then down. And again, lift those ribs. And then down. Let the elbows come in, chin to chest. And then just a little bit of a gentle resistance on the back of the head. But keep the spine tall. We're not rounding the shoulders. We're just literally chin to chest. And then gently flow up. And again, elbows come in, chin comes down. Just a little bit of pressure on the back of the head, just to stretch the back of the neck. You might even feel it come creep all the way down your back. And then release. And one more, elbows in, rolling down, chin to chest, a little pull. Very gentle, but just you can feel that stretch. Good, and then all the way up, elbows wide, relax those hands down, roll those shoulders again. Good, and let's breathe. In. And out. And again, in. And out. One more, in. And out. And relax. Well done, guys. Give yourself a little clap.